Hi guys, Matt Lemke here with True Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com, and today we're going to do a flip through on the Pathfinder Playtest. Gen Con. I've already gone ahead and made the character creation walkthrough. Feel free to check that out if you're interested in learning how easy or hard it is to create a character. Hopefully by this time next week I will have finished reading this in its entirety. I've read about 85 to 90% of it, I would say, and I will have a full review up, pre-play, unless by some small miracle I get to play between now and then again. I have played twice, but anyway, so starts off with some of this darkish. It's not black and white because it looks like it's in red, but it's a new style of art for the playtest. I kind of like the new art for a couple of reasons. One, it's different to let you know that it's, visually it's a different game. And two, even though it is a complete style of art, it's not complete for what you expect from Pathfinder. So it kind of lends to me like, okay, it's still a work in progress. I like it. I don't think that's what they intended, but as usual, you have the table of contents, all the credits over here, all the different chapters. Down here you have product identity and the open game content license information. And then on the very next page, they do something that I was very happy they did. They start off with "Welcome to Pathfinder" and give you an overview of Pathfinder for possibly new players and even some experienced players. There's some good history in here. If you have been with Pathfinder since the beginning, there's probably not that much there for you. But then a little bit of a breakdown on what is a role-playing game, how the game is going to flow, the players, the game master. Gaming is for everybody, which is a stance that we as a community should probably be taking. Doesn't matter what your personal views are, you shouldn't necessarily stop someone from having fun. And then players, it defines the players, it defines the game masters, how to play, and then it goes into playtesting supplies and gaming supplies. And then the basic concepts are right up front in this book. This is very important. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on that. So basically you have this little thing on how to read the book, which Paizo does with just about every book they make. And then they talk about the different modes of play and where to find them in detail. But more importantly, they give you the acting and effects. So anytime you see this icon, it's an action. And anytime you see reactions, it has the reaction symbol. And free actions have the one that isn't that is white. And then on the next page, it goes into activities, die rolls, some key terms, and that pretty much breaks down everything until you get to character creation. Now, this book, let's zoom out, is largely about character creation. It has all the core rules you need to play the playtest, but there's 289 pages roughly that are character creation out of a 428-page book. I wanted to state that. And then right here they have an overview of how to read the character sheet. Character sheet is now a landscape, and I do believe it makes it faster. You can check that out in the character creation video also. And then they have the different ancestries breakdown and the classes breakdown. And the walkthrough steps of how to create a character. We will go over that in more detail in the character creation video that I already have. The optional rolling ability scores, I plan on doing another video on this for you guys. Let me know if you actually want to see it. And then it starts with ancestries. And ancestries basically replace races. I am going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into just one. And we're going to look at it a little bit in depth because some of the things they've changed are important. Some of the things maybe not so important. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. That's pretty much all we need. I will use this guy as my pointer. So what you see across the top is the basics for whatever ancestor it is. So hit points have a base of 8, their size is medium, and they have a base speed of 25 points. In character creation, they get 2 free boosts. Their language is common plus 1 extra. And then bonus languages if they have 14 or higher, and then they have the traits human and humanoid. Now, the reason why I chose humans is, yes, because they're kind of boring, but they did a couple of things here. They added ethnicities. They don't necessarily do too much stuff. Some of them have a little bit more flavor than others. So let's see here. Which one did I read before that I liked? Okay, so the Khalid talks about the frozen mountains and the tundra, and that they're white skin, typically deeply tanned. Their eyes are often black, blue, or gray, and things like that. So it gives you a little bit more flavor. That's not really the important part that I wanted to share, but for some of us, flavor like that can be important. What I wanted to share mostly, and why I chose the humans, is that the half races, or the halvesies as I like to call them, or yeah, we'll just stick with that, is that the half elves are now a feat that you choose at first level, or half orc, half whatever. So that you get the little brief description, and you get the brief description here of how, you know, what they are and how to play them, and then when you pick your ancestry, you get to pick a feat. In the case of a half elf or a half orc, you would pick the half elf or half orc ancestry feats. So the following feats are available to a half elf. Oh, so actually, my bad. You would pick it over here underneath the human feats, and it does a variety of different things. So the feat will, one of your parents was an elf, one of them was not, or both your parents were half elves. You gain the elf trait. Select 2 of the following benefits. You get elven speed, tongue, or gifted speaker, or low light vision. In addition, you can select the half elf human feats as you level up. So at 5th level or higher, when you get another feat, you can choose either of those as a half elf. And I'm sure that this is one of the ways that they're going to expand the half ancestry things. Like, you know, this is how you're going to be like, I want to be more of a gray elf or a wood elf. They're going to add different feats at like 5th level and stuff to change that. Now, the next thing is backgrounds. And backgrounds are kind of neat because, well, basically what you need to know here is every background is chosen at character creation. And then each one gives you 2 ability boosts. One is locked in a set ability, and the other one is usually free. I haven't seen one or remember one that does both, or makes you put it into specific locations, I should say. Plus you get a skill feat, and you get a training in a lore skill. So that can be fun, and it is a good way to help with your character. Now we're on to languages, and there's not really a lot new about languages, except they're a little bit harder to learn in the Pathfinder Playtest. So we have the common languages, then they broke down uncommon languages. There's even secret languages now, and they've included, I think is it a common language? Oh, where is it? Sign language. They've included sign language. Well, basically that's the Druidic language. And then they have regional languages if you want to get really in depth. And then the classes. So the classes, they're really where the meat of everything's at. And we are going to go ahead and just pick one. I'm going to go with the Bard because I used the Alchemist for the character creation, and I don't recall them talking a lot about bards. Maybe I missed it. So zoom out just a hair for this part. I thought I'd turn that off. And you've got your description over here. and then you have playing a bard and role playing a bard. These two sections are actually very closely related. One is more about the role of the bard, and one is more about what might motivate your character and how your character might fill the shoes of the role playing. So they're pretty close. But before we go any farther, right here on the side, this is everything you need to know pretty much for making your character. So the key ability score of a bard is charisma. You would add that, your ability boosts for that. Their base hit points is 8, so if you were playing a human bard, you would have 8 plus 8, and then you would figure out, by the time you're done with your character creation, you'll be able to add the Constitution modifier. They have proficiencies. Their perception is expert. Saving throws, they're trained in fortitude, trained in reflex, and experts in will save. And I'll get into that more in character creation. And then they have a number of skills equal to 7 plus the intelligence number, which is really a lot of skills. Then the weapons they're trained in, the armor, the spells that they get, and then there's their signature skills. And those are important also. Okay, so let's see here. We were here. Class features is the next thing. You have your occult spell listings. One thing that I do want to note here on the chart for the different levels and things of your classes. So it says at first level you get an ancestry feat, a background feat, your compositions, and it lists all your proficiencies and stuff that you get. I've had players try and do this already. They are saying that because when they pick their ancestry, they get a feat. They're getting another feat when they pick the bard. I haven't found anything to say either way yet, or if I have, I just popped over it. You don't. You don't get a second background, and that's why I can say this with a certain amount of firmness. I kind of want this to disappear off of here and this to disappear off of here because they're done technically before you pick your character. And then after that, the next thing, character classes move on for quite a while. The next thing is skills. And what do you need to know about skills? Well, for the most part, skills work the same way as they do in Pathfinder, but they're a little different in the sense as how they're laid out. Oh, where's that page? Oh, wait. That's still the wizard. So if you want to see it, this is your skill check and DC checks and how they get to the final number. And of course, they have the list of all the skills, right? But then, here's Tumble Through. We'll just use that real quick. It's a move action. It tells you right there. Here is Concentrate. It's a concentrate. And then it's a concentrate. What I really wanted to focus on was it's secret. The DM might make the check for you. So what else? What else is there? Manipulate. And these are the different requirements you need to be able to use the skill. Other than that, they're pretty much the same in purpose and function. And then there's the differences with skill trainings and things like that. But again, we'll cover that in character creation and advancement. So the next big thing after that is, there's equipment. The only thing that's really changed, where is it? About equipment is bulk. Bulk is replacing encumbrance. And what you need to know about that is pretty much that the bulk of an item, 10 L's equal 1 bulk. And your bulk is basically modified by your strength modifier and what else? I don't remember the numbers now, but for example, my alchemist that I made can only carry 5 bulk. He's at 3.5 with armor. So let's say you got a bulk of 5. You have studded leather, that's 1 bulk, and then you take on the next page, I don't know, let's say it's a bastard sword. It's another bulk. And bulk, what you need to understand about bulk is, how do they get these numbers? Bulk is a combination of size versus encumbrance, and weight, and they just kind of broke it down to smaller numbers. So you don't have to worry about the length of a weapon anymore. It really speeds up gameplay. You don't have to worry about the length of a weapon along with weight, and I mean there's still a slowed factor and an encumbering factor when your character becomes to the point where he can't carry anything and he has to slow down. But I think this system is going to make it play faster, which is, in my opinion, is an important part of the whole role-playing thing. So next, spells. There's really 3 ways to do spells now. That is the next biggie, and let's see here. Where are they? Cast a spell. Well, I don't remember where they're all at, but there's basically cantrips. There is some color art in the book. There's cantrips, which I think they're cooler. I haven't used them yet, but I think they fill any slot, and they fill the highest slot, and they're always cast at the highest slot. They're basically free, and you don't need to memorize them all the time. You can just cast them pretty much infinitely. And then there's, I gotta find it now. There's heightened, which when you cast it, it's always going to be at the highest level, and where's the third? Spontaneous, which in my opinion is not really new at all. We've done it. I just couldn't remember what it was. And if you look at spells, they basically have the same type of little disclaimer here of their traits, what you need to do to cast it. So over here, casting's an action. Actually, it's semantic and verbal, so it's 2 actions. The range targets 1 creature. The level, and then the last thing we see in, well, not the last thing we see, but the last part of character creation effectively is way back here, and it is advancement options. And this is one thing that is pretty important, I think. And what you want to know about this is how you multi-class now. It's basically a feat. So you multi-class, your prestige class and your sample archetypes are all feats. So your cavalier makes you into a mounted knight, and that is something you can take at 2nd level by taking the cavalier dedication, and it gives you the breakdown of everything. So then you have the cleric multi-class. That's just the only reason why I'm saying cleric multi-class is because it's the first one, and you can take that multi-class at 2nd level, just like you would be able to with a normal game. And here's your stuff that it gives you. And then the Grey Maiden is a prestige class, which I don't know if you can tell that my screen is a little bit off, but that is a reddish maroon color instead of the normal black. That's okay. I guess you can't see the difference. Maybe my eyeballs are going bad. And that's pretty much how the multi-classing is going to work. And then playing the game. This is where you're going to find all the information on your actions, checks, tests, dice rolls, how you make all of that work. The game mastering section is more about how to run the Pathfinder playtest than it is building your own world, which I know that in a lot of the Pathfinder books that we've had in the past, beyond the core rulebook, they have focused a lot more on the campaign setting and how to make your own campaign setting and things of that nature. And then the next setup is treasures. Again, the treasure breakdown is a lot like your skills, your feats, and your spells. It gives you all the information you need. need to know. And then the last chapter is really appendixes and an index. So the appendixes are always one of my favorite parts of the book because Paizo sets up the book so that they can be used effectively. I mean, that's one of the things I like about Pathfinder and Starfinder is the fact that their information is thought out well, even for somebody OCD and dyslexic like me, who can follow them. I meant ACD. ACD? ADHD. See what I mean, people? And then the only other thing you really need to know is that perception is now a character feature that you can find in the part of character creation, and basically it's wisdom plus your perception proficiency number plus your circumstance bonus plus any other bonuses or modifiers. So what is the perception proficiency bonus? It is, let's see here. Let's go find it real quick. Here. Really? They didn't do that? How could they not do that? Alright guys, you gotta add that one. Perception's not in the glossary. Well, maybe it's in this glossary. Perception. We will zoom in. It's the measure of your character's ability to notice hidden objects and items. Learn more on page 301, and 301 is going to tell you how to figure it out, I hope. I've already made 5 characters and I can't remember how to make it. So, right underneath perception is your ability, how you figure your perception. Perception is your wisdom modifier plus your perception proficiency modifier. Which, let me grab a character here real quick so you're not so lost. I was trying to avoid you being lost. And that is not my character. Where's my character? Here's my alchemist. So, his perception, he's trained in perception, and he has no wisdom modifier, so his perception is 1, because trained means equal to your level. Alright, so what do I think about the Pathfinder Playtest rulebook? Well, I got the paper one, which I kind of regret. I should have got a hardback, I think, because I'm going to be running the playtest here real soon, and I think that I'm going to beat it up. I like the art. The art throughout's good. One of the things I like the most, I love these columns like this because you can look at them from the side and get an idea of where things are. If you kind of know have the book open a little bit, you get a good idea where they're at. You can flip to it faster. I really like the way they laid out character classes. This is the other thing I did not show you that's kind of neat and important. Bard feats. So in one of the little sidebars, it tells you the key terms of the bard, and then it lists all the bard feats there, and then it goes on to the descriptions right next to it. And I really like the fact that they do this little sidebar. If you use this to create your character, it speeds it up tenfold. I don't know if people look at it and are a little bit undaunted because it's kind of a new system, and they do like a point add system instead of a point buy system, or a point add and subtract system. But the book is solid. The paperback is $29.99, and you get 428 pages. And honestly, 428 pages for $30. I would buy this over downloading the free rule book any day of the week. Because, well, I don't like reading PDFs. PDFs are good for searching and finding stuff, but I really just don't like them. As far as reviewing goes, well, if you're going to play the playtest, you need the book, one way or the other. You can't play the playtest really without the book unless you're borrowing your buddies or whatever. And since it's free, you probably don't need to borrow it. It's laid out beautifully, like I said, and I'm looking forward to playing some games. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.
Hi guys, meet the Nibbles, who's gonna go down. She just decided not to go down my back, so we'll do this for her so she's comfy. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button and share it if you know somebody who might be interested. And of course, there's always Twitter and the Facebook thingy, and soon I have a newsletter coming. That'll be down there or in the link below, and my kitty cat loves that idea. So anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, subscribe. Be a part of my community, our community. Let's make it grow together. See you guys at a con somewhere, or a local store, or if I'm driving through the country, maybe a game club. I don't know. You're not going to go knock down my camera. Bye, guys.